The history of the United States is a rich and complex narrative that spans thousands of years, starting with the indigenous peoples who inhabited the land long before European contact. Here's an overview of key periods in U.S. history. 1. Pre-Columbian era, before 1492. Indigenous peoples, including the Native Americans, inhabited the Americas for thousands of years. Advanced civilizations like the Maya, Aztec, and Mississippian cultures flourished. 2. Age of exploration and colonization, 1492 to 1763. 1492, Christopher Columbus, sailing for Spain, arrived in the Americas. European powers, including Spain, France, and England, established colonies. The 13 British colonies were established along the Atlantic coast. 3. American Revolution and Independence, 1763 to 1789. Colonists grew discontented with British rule, leading to the Revolutionary War, 1775 to 1783. 1776, the Declaration of Independence was signed. 1783, the Treaty of Paris ended the war, recognizing U.S. independence. 1787, the U.S. Constitution was drafted, establishing a federal government. 4. Early Republic, 1789. 1820s. 1789, George Washington became the first U.S. president. Expansion westward began with treaties, purchases, e.g., Louisiana Purchase in 1803, and conflicts with Native Americans. Political parties like the Federalists and Democratic Republicans emerged. 5. Antebellum period, 1820 to 1861. The U.S. expanded further westward, e.g., Manifest Destiny. Conflicts over slavery intensified, dividing the North, anti-slavery, and South, pro-slavery. 1846 to 1848, the Mexican-American War added significant territory, including Texas and California. 6. Civil War and Reconstruction, 1861 to 1877. 1861 to 1865, the Civil War was fought between the Union, North, and Confederacy, South, over slavery and states' rights. 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation declared freedom for enslaved people in Confederate states. Reconstruction aimed to rebuild the South and integrate freed African Americans into society, though it faced significant resistance. 7. Industrialization and Gilded Age, 1877 to 1900. The U.S. became an industrial power, with advances in technology, transportation, and urbanization. Economic inequality grew, leading to labor movements and calls for reform. Immigration surged, particularly from Europe. 8. Progressive Era and World Wars, 1900 to 1945. Reforms addressed issues like workers' rights, women's suffrage, and corruption. 1917 to 1918, the U.S. joined World War I. The Great Depression, 1929 to 1939, caused severe economic hardship. 1941 to 1945, the U.S. played a pivotal role in World War II, emerging as a global superpower. 9. Cold War and Civil Rights Era, 1945 to 1991. The U.S. engaged in a geopolitical rivalry with the Soviet Union, marked by events like the Korean War, Vietnam War, and the space race. The Civil Rights Movement, led by figures like Martin Luther King Jr., fought for racial equality. The U.S. landed on the moon in 1969, symbolizing technological dominance. 10. Contemporary Era, 1991-present. The Cold War ended with the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991. The U.S. faced new challenges, including the 9/11 attacks, 2001, wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, and economic crises. Recent decades have focused on technological advancements, global leadership, and domestic issues like healthcare, racial justice, and climate change.